There are simple mistakes that you can make with your 401k plan that can cost you a lot of money. But what if you need to take that money out of your 401k account?
Well, our next guest is here with different options to avoid those costly mistakes. This is Amber Perry from Farmers Financial Solutions here with us. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So what options do you have with your 401k or 403b when you leave a job, and what should you definitely not do with those funds?
So when you leave a job, you have a few different options. You can leave the money where it's at. You can decide to move it to a different retirement account, and you can also cash it out. That is a huge costly mistake that most people don't realize, and that is what 36% of Americans decide that they're going to do based on a research report from Fidelity Investments.
And you probably get penalized in a huge way. Is that one of the biggest reasons?
So not only do you get penalized by the IRS 10%, but then you have to pay taxes on that money because it was all considered pre-tax. So rather than letting it sit and earn interest over time, which that compound interest can really build up, you actually then end up paying more of your money to Uncle Sam rather than just letting it sit, roll it into something else, and earn those monies later in life, where, I mean, it can be thousands and thousands of dollars that you missed out on.
Yeah, rather than take advantage of that instant gratification that may be some money in the short term, but then you might end up spending it on other things.
Right.
Other than your retirement, you're really handicapping how you're going to be able to be comfortable in the future. Now, what should we do instead of cashing it out?
Well, you have a couple different options. Like I said, you can leave it where it's at, but you can no longer contribute to it. So then it's just sitting in this 401k plan, and the fees in that plan may not be better than what you can find on your own. Plus, you have a little less control. Rolling it over to your own IRA account that you actually own is going to be typically your best option. You also can choose to hang on to it until you start a job and roll it over to that new employer's 401k plan. But checking into the fees that you're paying are going to be the key thing. Is it better to stay where you're at? Is it better to roll it over? Anytime you move monies, you do want to make sure you look at advisor fees and fund fees and just make sure that's going to be the best move. That's really what generally eats up a lot of your investment.
So what advice would you have for somebody who has a 401k account and they're staying with their current employer?
So, you actually have a really cool option that a lot of people don't know about, and it's called an in-service distribution. So if your employer plan allows it, and if you're over 59 and a half, you can decide to move that 401k money while you're still working with your employer. The benefits to that, again, would be one, possibly lesser fees, but you can control how you're investing it. You can control whether it's conservative, aggressive, and other different options that different types of plans have, so that you have a better option once you retire where you don't have to then move all those funds. I did have a client at one point that waited, left all their money, they were going to retire, but the company went out of business first. It made it 10 times harder to move those funds. It made a lot more paperwork, and it took longer than the average. So looking at that, if you're over 59 and a half, and the options to move those funds before you actually retire from that job might be in your better interest.
Yeah, again, think of that long-term game, right? And companies make investing in a 401k just really too easy. I mean, you can just click a couple things, you're signed up. Do you recommend that it's a good idea to contribute to a 401k employer plan?
Absolutely, I do, because when you're contributing to a 401k plan, you typically are going to get some kind of an employer match, and that's free money. So there's no reason not to do that. But you do want to look at how you're allocating those funds. That can make a big difference. I am happy to offer a free financial review for any of the Morning Blend viewers. It's a good idea to take a look at that and just see what your options are, and are you even investing in the right ones?
Right, because maybe the stuff that you invested in 10 years ago is not where you need to be now, because things change, right? And so you forget about it, your money's going in, which is a good thing. You're not, you're not seeing this tangible amount of money that's being taken out of your hands. Is just like doesn't even exist until you look at it.
And most people do forget about it. And I ask them, how's your 401k, or how much do you have in it? And they say, I don't know. I haven't looked at that in years. And then they find out they're ultra conservative, or they put it in a money market and it's just not doing anything for them. Whereas if 20 years ago ago they had put it into something different, they'd be in a whole different place.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to look back and kick yourself and say, if I had just changed one or two little options, if I had the expert help. So many people these days try to DIY it, right? And then they end up, like you say, investing in something that isn't necessarily the best for their portfolio. So Amber Perry, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amber.
And right now, Amber Perry is offering a free financial consultation. If you want more information, visit agents.farmers.com/aperry or call 520-296-6532.